Steelers fans, you are not ready for this. I'm telling you right now, if even half of what's being whispered around the league turns out to be true, this could be the most shocking move in modern franchise history. A potential blockbuster, a division earthquake. So before we dive in, make sure you hit that subscribe button and stay locked in for daily Steelers updates because this story is moving fast and you do not want to miss a single development. All right, take a breath with me for a second. Imagine waking up to the headline that the Pittsburgh Steelers are finalizing a trade to bring in none other than Joe Burrow from the Cincinnati Bengals. Yes, that Joe Burrow, the face of Cincinnati's franchise, the quarterback who has tormented the AFC North, the player who has walked into hostile environments and played like ice runs through his veins, and the reported framework, 3 Steelers players going the other way. Not just draft picks, not just future assets, 3 actual roster pieces. If this sounds insane, that's because it is. Let's slow this down and really unpack it. Burrow isn't just a good quarterback. He's not just a Pro Bowler. He's a proven franchise cornerstone. He's taken the Bengals deep into the playoffs. He's delivered in high-pressure January moments. He's shown the kind of composure that you simply cannot teach. When the pocket collapses, he doesn't panic. When the lights are brightest, he doesn't shrink. That's rare air in today's NFL. So the idea of him wearing black and gold, it feels almost surreal. Now, why would this even be discussed? Why would a team consider trading a quarterback like that, especially to a division rival like the Steelers? Historically, that kind of move is almost unheard of. Teams do not hand elite quarterbacks to their direct competition. You don't build a star, develop him, watch him grow, and then ship him off to someone you have to face twice a year. But here's the thing about today's NFL. Nothing is truly untouchable. Front offices are constantly evaluating cap space, injury history, long-term roster balance, and financial flexibility. Quarterbacks command massive contracts, and when money, timing, and roster construction collide, even the wildest ideas can at least be discussed behind closed doors. If the Steelers are even sniffing around this possibility, it tells you something. It tells you they understand the value of elite quarterback play. It tells you they might believe the rest of the roster is strong enough to handle a bold swing, and it tells you they are not content to sit in the middle of the AFC and hope things break their way. Now let's talk about what this would mean on the field. Burrow's game is built on precision, quick decisions, anticipation. He thrives in rhythm passing attacks. He's surgical in the short and intermediate game, and when he takes deep shots, they're calculated. Put that skill set into Pittsburgh's offense, and suddenly defensive coordinators have a completely different problem to solve. Safeties would have to respect the deep ball more consistently. Blitz packages might decrease because he punishes pressure with quick releases. Linebackers would hesitate, knowing one wrong step opens a throwing lane. The entire geometry of the field changes when you have a quarterback who processes as quickly as Burrow does. But football isn't played on paper. It's about chemistry, identity, fit. The Steelers have long prided themselves on toughness, physical defense, balanced offense, grinding out wins in December weather. Bringing in a quarterback known for command and tempo could signal a philosophical shift. More spread formations, more early down throws, more aggressive play calling. That's exciting, it's modern, it's dynamic, but it also means evolution. And evolution isn't always smooth. Now flip to the other side of this potential deal. 3 Steelers players heading out the door. That's not minor. That's not depth at the bottom of the roster. For a trade like this to even be entertained, those would likely be meaningful contributors. Starters, rising young players, locker room voices. Chemistry matters, leadership matters. When you remove 3 familiar faces, there's a ripple effect. Roles shift, rotations change, depth charts tighten, and in the NFL, depth wins games late in the season. Injuries happen, bodies break down. Sacrificing multiple pieces for one superstar can either elevate you instantly or leave you dangerously thin. And then there's the financial side. Burrow's contract is enormous. Franchise quarterbacks reshape salary caps. To make this work, the Steelers would have to maneuver carefully, restructure deals, potentially move money around. That could limit flexibility in future free agency periods. It's a high-stakes balancing act. Now imagine the division implications. If Cincinnati actually sent Burrow to Pittsburgh, the AFC North would explode with intensity. Rivalries would reach another level. Every Steelers-Bengals matchup would become must-watch television. Imagine Burrow walking back into Cincinnati in a Steelers uniform. The crowd reaction, the storylines, the national media frenzy. It would dominate headlines for months. Fans are already split on this rumor. Some are screaming, "Do it now." They see an elite quarterback in his prime and believe that instantly makes Pittsburgh a Super Bowl contender. Others are more cautious. They're asking, at what cost? Is it worth sacrificing 3 key contributors and reshaping your financial future? Both sides have a point, because here's the truth. Stability at quarterback defines championship windows. If the Steelers believe they're one elite signal caller away from true contention, then bold moves become tempting. Very tempting. And this would be bold beyond measure. But it's also risky. There's an emotional layer too. Steelers Nation builds attachments. Trading beloved players for a former rival quarterback would feel complicated. There would be skepticism. There would be debate. But let's be honest, winning cures everything. If Burrow stepped in and started lighting up scoreboards, the initial backlash would fade quickly. Now, let's zoom out and consider the bigger picture. Even if this trade never materializes, the fact that it's being discussed reveals something important. The Steelers are viewed as a franchise potentially willing to swing big. In today's NFL, playing it safe often leaves you stuck in mediocrity. Teams that separate themselves are the ones willing to take calculated risks. Would this be calculated? Absolutely. Scouts, analysts, cap experts, they would run every scenario imaginable before making a move like this. But there's no such thing as a risk-free blockbuster. You either leap forward or you expose yourself. Picture the press conference, the jersey reveal, the first snap in black and gold, the energy in Acrisure Stadium, the national spotlight. It would feel historic, and the pressure? Enormous. Burrow wouldn't just be another quarterback. He would be the symbol of a seismic shift. Every interception would be magnified, every win celebrated like validation, every divisional showdown would carry playoff-level intensity. For now, though, this remains a rumor, a concept, a spark that's igniting conversation across the league. Some insiders believe it's more smoke than fire. Others say, where there's smoke, there's at least discussion. One thing is undeniable. The quarterback conversation in Pittsburgh is alive, and it's louder than ever. If the Steelers truly believe their defense is championship ready and their offensive weapons are primed, then adding a proven elite quarterback could align everything. It could synchronize timelines. It could maximize a Super Bowl window. Or it could cost too much. That's the tension. That's the drama. Right now, the entire NFL is watching, not because a trade has happened, but because the idea alone signals ambition, hunger, urgency. Steelers Nation thrives on tradition and toughness. This potential move challenges both. It asks whether depth should be sacrificed for star power, whether you dare empower yourself by stealing from a rival, whether the pursuit of greatness justifies massive change. If something even remotely close to this deal becomes reality, the AFC North will never look the same. Playoff projections would shift overnight, power rankings would scramble, and Pittsburgh would instantly become one of the most talked about teams in football. For now, we wait. But don't mistake waiting for silence. Conversations are happening, evaluations are ongoing, and in the NFL, it only takes one phone call to turn a rumor into reality. Steelers fans, buckle up, because whether this blockbuster happens or fades away, one thing is clear. The franchise is being forced to confront how far it's willing to go to chase another Lombardi.